Hi everybody, this is Dr. Chatiswalo Pantajuyaluka, the founder of Nzilaloa. Nzilaloa is a modern academy of African traditional spirituality. Nzilaloa comprises two branches: an academic branch devoted to research and which is called Institut des Sciences Animiques, and an initiatory branch called also Nzilaloa. Today we have chosen to speak about the worship of spirits in Vodou, a science, not a mere belief. The idea of this video has been inspired by this book titled Bukôngo, which is available at Amazon.com. In a world dominated by the materialism of the West, any insistence on the existence of spirits and the practice related to them is often frowned at as being dark superstition. The word Vodou comes from the Benin fun, meaning spirits. At the core of the spiritual practice of this African culture lies the worship and reliance on spirit to control nature. As this African culture arrived in America, it resulted in a syncretism in which West African and Congo spiritual practices were mixed. Far from being a disadvantage, these mixtures helps one realize the scientific nature of the worship of the spirits, because the Congo religion, Bukôngo, has the advantage of having kept intact the scientific import of solar religion, the religion that characterized the ancient civilization of Egypt and Sumer, and which is the original trend of African traditional religion. The scientific nature of solar religion, that is of Bukôngo, is known thanks to the Kemetic cosmological argument. This cosmological argument starts from the existence of individuality and the law of causality. It states the essential doctrine of solar religion, thus proving that being a set of deductive and coherent truth, this religion is like mathematics, an exact science. The Kemetic cosmological argument can be briefly stated, introduced this way. I'm an individual being. You are an individual being. We abide in a universe, a temporal universe, which is an individual entity because it can be identified to the individuality it contains. Being an individual entity, this temporal universe is the work of an individual creator. Let's use here an hypothesis just for the sake of concision. Let's suppose that every creation exists in its creator. If we consider the fact that the creator of this universe is an individual being, there must be other creators who are at least potentially creative. They may have not yet created their universe, but they exist in the infinite possibility, in the infinite possibility offered by the universe. Thus, if we take the sum total of all these manifest and potential creators, we have a being who is the greatest possible being, the supreme being. Because, remember, any creation exists in its creator, and the creator is in the greatest possible being. Since this being, the Supreme Being is the greatest possible being, it follows that he must be indivisible and immutable. Otherwise, there might be a principle of his divisibility and mutability, and that principle must be greater than him, greater than the greatest possible being, which is impossible. Being indivisible, this Supreme Being, God, is also transcendent. Transcendent means he is above everything, but also he is cognizant, he is not cognizant of evil. If he were cognizant of evil, due to his indivisibility, evil and good will be part of his essence, thus he will be infinitely good and infinitely evil, which is a contradiction. So God is transcendent, immutable, indivisible. But we know that each creator, each child of God, manifests an individuality included in God. Now God is indivisible. Thus we come to the conclusion that each child of God manifests the fullness of God, but in an individual way. That fullness of the divinity we call the Logos. Thus we have three entities. We have God, the supreme transcendent being, we have the Creator, and we have the Logos. Due to the indivisibility of God, these three are inseparable in their substance. They act together. They are one in activity and one in existence. The Supreme Being acts thanks to his children by the courtesy of the Logos. The children of God act for the Father thanks to the Logos. This is solar Trinity. Now the question is, where is situated the temporal universe in comparison to God, the Supreme Being? The temporal universe cannot be in the Supreme Being, otherwise at the moment of creation something in him will go from potentially to manifest state, and God will change, which is impossible. God is immutable. The temporal universe cannot be outside of God, otherwise we will have a reality which includes God and the temporal universe, and which is greater than the greatest possible being, which is impossible. Thus, being neither in nor outside the most high God, but being in the Creator, the temporal universe is only an appearance of the celestial reality in the temporal consciousness of the Creator. Remember, this is exactly the philosophy that was taught by Plato. So we have demonstrated here the existence of God, the Most High, who is different from the Creator and is transcendent, and who is called in Bukôngo, Zambia Mpungu to Lendo. His children, the Creator, is called in Bukôngo Bumba Logwa. Logwa meaning alluding to his manifestation of the full glory of the Father Mother, has a sun, has a star. And we have the Logos. The Logos in Bukôngo is called Mpinanza at the celestial level. Those three constitute the highest manifestations of the divinity in the heaven. We know from Bukôngo that religion is about the use of Nkisi as spirits to reinforce the Muntu, the human being. The use of the Nkisi as spirits in order to reinforce, to strengthen the human being. The Nkisi is not to be confused with fetish, as it is usually done. Thanks to the ethnography of this Congo culture, we know that the hierarchy of the Nkisi a spirit comprise the following. First of all, as the greatest spirit, we have Nzambi Ampongo Tulendo, the supreme being. He is the greatest spirit known in Bukôngo, and he is transcendent. We have seen that being transcendent, he is not cognizant of evil. Thus, he was never the object of the worship. The prayer were never addressed directly to him. According to Solar Trinity, he acts on the celestial level through his manifestation. And these manifestations are called the Bikinda, or the heavenly manifestation of Nzambi Ampongo Tulendo, who are called also the children of God. Each one of them is a lower. Each lower is manifested in the temporal level as a Nkisi. And these Nkisi in the plural are called Bakisi. So the Bakisi are the temporal manifestation of the Bikinda. Those are the three kind of spirits known in Bukôngo, in the practice of the Congo. Nzambi Ampongo Tulendo, the Bikinda or Lowers, and the Bakisi. Thanks to the Kemetic cosmological argument, we know that the worship of the divine spirits is a science. This can be proved this way. God, the supreme being, is the substance of everything, because everything in the celestial level is his manifestation. He is the ultimate cause. Therefore, he is the unlimiting ultimate principle. He is spirit. Being spirit, we know also from the Kemetic cosmological argument that he is transcendent. And thus we said he was not direct. The prayer was not directly addressed to him. So, due to his transcendence, he acts on the celestial level only through his manifestation, each one of which is called Lowa in Bukôngo, his son. The principle of Trinity applying on the celestial and on the temporal level implies that these lowers act on the temporal level through their manifestation. And these manifestations are divine spirits controlling everything good in the temporal level, phenomenal as well as human beings. Thus, we arrive to the conclusion that, far from being a superstitious belief, the use of spirits in voodoo is demonstrated thanks to Bukôngo to be a science. These divine spirits control being and govern being and phenomena on the behalf of God, the supreme being, and they worship the use of them to control nature is a technology, a scientific practice. If you enjoyed this video, please join us and become one of our followers. Thank you so much.